Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to the LizyT Show. How are you doing? I hope you can hear me okay. My mic is pretty close to me right now, so I'm hoping that my volume is the greatest. Uh, do I have a surprise for you? Do I have a guess that is definitely gonna blow up your socks? It's just so much information, and it's very pertinent to what's going on right now with COVID, with pandemic, with lockdown, and investing. It's isn't that what it's all about? To be able to invest in the right thing, to invest in the proper thing, and not only to be able to retire comfortably, after you've worked for so many years, or even if you have your own business. And how do we do that? How do we learn? Who can teach us? Because there's so much information out there. Is real estate, is stocks, is mutual funds. It's so much information, and nobody really seems to know the answer. Maybe because I think we will have some answers, not all of the answers, but some answers today as to who and how and when, and how easy could be if you have the right coach, the right information, and definitely the right partner. It's all about connections. Here on the LizyT Show, we are incredibly looking forward to help you in any way, shape, or form. If there was one person that I'm able to reach, one guest, one person out there that will be able to get one nugget, you know what? My job is complete. I am fulfilled. That's really what I'm here for. So I'm hoping that my guests will be able to give you that little bit of extra that you're looking for. All those questions that you probably have asked, and go on Google and spend hundreds of hours, time that you probably don't have, to find the answer. Hopefully here we'll have the answer for you, because I'm not the expert, my guess is. However, if you will have particular questions, you can always ask us on the chat. We are on Periscope, Instagram. We're live as well on Instagram. We are on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and LinkedIn. My goodness. So, I mean, all those platforms, you should be able to get one of them and ask. The chat is open, so you can always ask me, or definitely my guests. So I have a little bio, but before I bring her on, I can see her on the green room right now. I want to be able to thank our sponsor. We've been having several sponsors. And by the way, if you would like to sponsor the show, contact me. I love to mention your business, but we have a special sponsor until Saturday. And because we are going to be at the Global Pandemic Summit, the sequel, and I'm going to be speaking, and my guest is going to be speaking there. So if we're able to inspire a little bit this week, and make sure that you signed up. So here's the video of my sponsor, and I'll be right back with my guest. Wow, that's an amazing panel, isn't it? Looking forward to, and I know my guest is looking forward to, a huge repertoire of incredible speakers, great coaches, great teacher. You cannot miss the Global Pandemic Summit is happening this weekend. Can't believe it's only a couple of days to go, so you must attend. It is absolutely free. Did I say that? Did you hear that? It's absolutely free. Okay, so let's go on with our guests. As you can see here on the screen, her name is Maria Rekrut. She is a BA and MBA and music performer and education. Is that real estate investor, property developer of heritage building and short-term rental, landlord and landowner since 2000 in Ontario, Canada. Founder of the president of Canadian Short-Term Rental Host Association and the Canadian Real Estate Investor Association. Chief editor-in-chief, host of the producer Real Estate Media News, Radio, and TV network channel. My goodness, do I feel small right now? Maria has her own YouTube channel. Got to make sure that you follow her. And podcast and radio shows, All Things Real Estate with Maria Rekrut. All things for real estate. Got to make sure you follow. Maria is #1 bestseller author and triple, not once, not twice, triple award-winning author of her book, Double Your Income Using Social Media. Got to get that one. And in 2014 to 2018, Maria has nominated by the Niagara Falls Chamber of Commerce for the category of Businesswoman of the Year. Holy. Okay. Maria has been a member of various chambers of commerce in Ontario, Canada, and is the only woman in the history of Niagara on the Lake, Hydro commissioned to be the female Hydro commissioner. Oh my goodness. Maria is a keynote speaker and author blogger for both long-term and short-term rental since 2000. So basically 21 years. Woo! Okay, well, are you in for a treat? Are you in for a treat? I'm tired. I'm like, this is awesome, like incredible. So let's welcome her with a wonderful round of applause.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You deserve all this applause. And by the way, you're looking lovely today. I love your outfit. You know, how do you manage to be busy with real estate and rentals and blocked and then look amazing? I mean, wow. So for people that are watching us all over the world and all those platforms, how did you get involved in real estate? I mean, for a woman, and I'm not being sexist here because a lot of guys probably are thinking, a girl? What happened? Like what triggered you? What was the little thing that bit you, the little bug that bit you and you said, I'm hooked? So give us a little bit of background. What motivated you to get involved in real estate?
Well, real estate is one of the fastest way of building wealth, actually. My father was in real estate. He owned real estate property in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And I used to go and help him on weekends. And I watched him build. He used to have rooming houses, and he and his immigrants would go and fix things up, and they would build rooms upon rooms, and he would rent it out. He used to say to me, Maria, how do you think I can do this? I've got 5 bambinos because we were 5 siblings. And my mom wasn't working. She was at home, stayed at home. And he said, how do you think I did this? He said, with real estate. He said, so I worked. He had his own business, and then he had real estate. And so that always remained with me. But that didn't stop me from going to Europe and studying music. As you know, I have a master's in performance. I'm a singer. I've been singing since I was 2 years old. And I went to Europe, to Italy and Spain, and studied music and got my bachelor's and master's of performance. And then it's funny because I came back to Canada, and then my husband was an American. And I went to New York City and went there. We got married, and then I started working there. And I had received my master's degree, and I wanted to teach. There's nothing more I wanted to do than to teach. and I couldn't find a job because I found out that it had nothing to do with how good a school I had gone to, because I'd gone to the best schools in Europe, in Italy and in Spain. It was who you knew. So I'm the type of person, I'm very entrepreneurial since I was a little girl, very entrepreneurial and very strong-willed. And I said, okay, I guess I'll teach someday, but in the meantime, I'm going to find a job. And so I started working for a company in New York City. And then what happened is they lost the manager of Long Island, Queens. And I said to my husband, why don't you and I become the managers over there? So I kind of ran the office, ran the whole operation, and he went out and did his medical exams. I came back to Canada, started as a business development consultant, started from scratch. And I had 7 jobs in 7 days. Every day I had 1 or 2 jobs I was going to, right? And my father then brought it up again. You should go and buy yourself a nice piece of real estate. I said, yeah, but how am I going to do this? Because I had no money, right? I had a little bit of money saved in the bank. I just come from New York City. My husband and I had done quite well over there, but I was starting from scratch in the Niagara region. I knew nobody, I knew nothing, but I was very determined. And so slowly I got into my field of teaching. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to start my business on the side. And I was renting, of course. And then I said, no, I want to buy a place. Again, had no idea how I was going to do it. So I went to the credit union, filled out an application, and they came back to me and they said, well, I don't know if we can give you the mortgage or not, but I'm going to take a chance on you. I said, okay. All right, take a chance on me. So I borrowed the first mortgage. This was in 1988. Borrowed the first mortgage for 11% down. Borrowed the second mortgage for 13% interest every year. The third mortgage I borrowed, and I put down $5,000 of my own. And that's how I started my real estate. And for 12 years, I was developing my business development consulting firm. And plus I was working to make extra money. And I started to put back money, paying off my second and third mortgage. And by 2000, I had come to a point where I thought, you know what? I was traveling around the world doing business seminars, and I would be in front of a crowd for 8 hours a day. I was working for SkillPath, and there's another Canadian company, and I'm sorry, the name, I don't remember the name, but I was going around all over Canada, US, teaching courses about how to deal with difficult people. Let's see, now the softer skills now, time management, all things like that, okay, softer skills. And I was developing programs for universities and colleges. And so at that point, I thought, okay, I don't want to travel so much, Lizzie. I want to stay home in Niagara. So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to go and buy another piece of real estate. Again, I had no idea how I was going to get the money. That's the way I run my life. But I said, I was determined. I was going to find a way of getting my second house. So once again, I went to the credit union and I said, can I pull money out of the property I have right now? They said, okay, we'll send an appraiser over. We'll find out how much your property is worth. And I didn't even know what that was all about. Somebody told me to do that. I didn't even know. And they came back and they said, yeah, you've got lots of money. So I said, okay, let me go and buy my second house. And so it took me 6 months to negotiate my second house. But I got a first mortgage. Then I had my own money to put down as a second mortgage. Went into that, started working the business with short-term rentals. And then I thought, well, this is okay, but I need something even better than that. So I went to the student rental. So I bought another 2 properties. This is all from my own money. So I borrowed the money from the bank and put down my own down payment. And that's why I started. The short version of this, why did I start? I wanted to be economically and financially free. That's why I was doing it.
Yes, you wanted to be independent. And a lot of people, even listening to your story right now, even the way you talk about it, you make it sound a bit simpler than it actually is, because you did say that for the very first refinance, and by the way, a lot of you that don't know the terminology, refinance, appraisal, mortgages, right? Because some of you are renting and completely
Yep.
understand, and we and me, Maria can definitely help you to learn those terminologies. She
Sure.
coaches people. So if you think that Maria is the right fit to teach you about this, let's say you right now have a home and you've had it for at least, let's say, 10 years, and you've never borrowed against it, meaning you've never took money out of that home. And I know a lot of people are think, oh, I want to pay my house
Yeah.
and forget
Yeah.
about it. Good idea. Good idea. However, how about rethinking that and using that equity, meaning the money that you have accumulated, and buy another property? Just a
Yeah.
thought. Maybe give it
Yes.
to your grandson as a wedding gift, or maybe
Mhm.
something that you want to use for retire. Again, I know that those terminologies are all brand new and you probably don't know very much about it, but we're going to try to be slow here. Maria's trying to get
Okay.
slow. and, and help you along the way when it comes down to all of those things. So for people that are watching right now, Maria, and they're thinking, I can't do that. What would you have to say to them, Maria? That it is a bit challenging. Let's not kid ourselves. It is challenge, but if they're willing and if they're able and if they have the means, absolutely is achievable. But what would you say to them that they're listening to you? And I mean, you have so many properties right now. How capable are they to achieve what you have done?
Well, you can achieve it, but you have to go and study. You have to go have a coach. You have to go and take courses and read books and watch YouTube videos. But the best thing that happened to me when I went into real estate is I got myself a coach right away. And so the coach was able to hold my hand and show me different strategies. And I would go to meetings in Toronto about 2 or 3 times a month to learn about real estate. And then I joined all kinds of groups, either in Niagara or in Hamilton or Toronto, and continued educating myself. And I also I spoke to other landlords, other people who were doing strategies like rent to own. And I asked them, how do you do this? Do you want to show me how to do this? And so they became my coaches for that. So every step of the way, Lizzie, I had coaches. I had someone showing me. They had been successfully doing it. Therefore, they were more than willing to help me become as successful as they were. And I'm going to really caution people that if you're thinking of doing something in Canada, you should be getting a Canadian coach. Find someone who is still in the trenches, which means they're actually still investing and they truly are investing, not people are trying to sell you a program, okay? Because that's not what this is all about. It's for your future, not to fill their pockets with money, but fill your pockets with money. And when you go into real estate, you look at money in a completely, entirely different way. You realize that every house is like a bank book. That is your resource. And I know people say, I want to pay off my house. That's probably the most foolish thing you can do if you want to build a real estate portfolio. Myself, I don't want to ever pay off my properties. I want to pull as much money out of my property so I can purchase another piece of property. And that's kind of how it goes. That's how you become self-sustaining and you become your own bank book. So if someone's going to say, I'm going to teach you how to buy your own house with no money down, I do that. My first deal was no money down. I just put $5,000. I borrowed the rest. So instead of you going paying $20,000 or $30,000 to find from somebody else who isn't probably not even a real estate investor, but just a salesperson, I've just given you the golden nugget that everyone is asking is, how do I buy my house with no money down? You borrow from other people. You go to the bank. You go get a mortgage broker. Put some money down yourself. That's how you do it. I've just saved you $20,000 to $30,000. So that's the kind of
Wow.
tips you get from a coach, right?
Wow. Wow. So you heard it. She just saved you
Yeah.
$30,000 right now. For people that are watching, or they will be watching later on, or this is going to be saved on all our social, how were you treated by the male community, seeing you, 21 years ago when you started this? What's the slack that you got saying, what is a woman? What are you doing in this industry?
Well, it's really interesting because I'm a baby boomer, and we learned from very early on life for women to be independent. So I was very independent since I was 10 years old. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to go to Europe. I started to save money, and I went there. So for me, people at the beginning, when I moved to the Niagara region, which was in 1986, I was the only woman consultant, business development consultant. I was the only one around. Everybody else had jobs. And I thought, oh my God, you're giving away so much money as a job in taxes, right? They didn't know how to handle me, Lizzie. They really don't know how to handle me. And I've never let a man stop me from going ahead. I just go around them, right? I mean, if they don't want to help me, go around, find somebody else, right? That's kind of been the way I look at it. I'm going to tell you something that's really interesting is that even to today, when somebody says to me, Lizzie, what do you do? I say to them, I'm a real estate investor and landlord. And then they say to me, so which company do you work for? I said, no, I'm not a real estate agent. I'm a real estate investor. I said, then I have to say, I put my own money in real estate. Then they don't know what to say because there's so few. I mean, I'm sure there's lots, but nobody ever talks about it. So up to this day, 2021, I still get the same answer from people or questions. So what brokerage do you work for? You know?
Wow, that's crazy. And really that's the reason that I asked you that question, Maria, is because I know that there are a lot of women watching and will be watching later on, and they're wondering, I'm a lady, I don't know anything or the first thing about real estate. How can I get involved? Well, that's why I asked that question, because here is Maria, 21 years ago, started this, and she's doing it. And that's one of the things that I want to be able to get myself more and more involved. I'd only have a couple of properties, but again, that's something that you can build on. It doesn't have from one day to another. There's a lot of information. Maria is definitely the most important person to help you to grow. She coaches, she teaches, she mentors, and the list goes on. I mean, she's a #1 bestseller on her book. Susan Husman, she said, both of you ladies are great. Thank you so much, Susan, for your comment. Yes, Maria is great. I'm just the host. And so I'm hoping that you're able to get that you also, being a woman, you can also get involved and learn. We learned so many things. There are women doing brain surgeries and going to the space. I mean, learning real estate, I think, shouldn't be that hard. So how many properties, Maria, right now you own? I know you flip quite a bit, and I know you do rentals, but just to give, just humor me, just to give you to give the audience an idea.
I never go into I never talk about numbers because I've bought and sold so much in the meantime, right? And I'm always buying, I'm always selling. So I never go into that because it's really not the number, it's the strategies. Because I've learned many strategies, Lizzie. I've learned many, many strategies of how you can buy real estate, what you can do with your real estate, whether you want to do long-term rentals or short-term rentals, and within that, what kind of strategies do you want to use, like rent-to-owns, or one of the nicest ways of becoming a landlord, where you get good tenants in there. Because the secret to good real estate investing is getting a good tenant in your house. First of all, the first thing is get a good house. So it's location, location, location. Then it's tenant, 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 and then the exit strategy. What do you want to do with your house? When do you want to sell it? Do you want to just pull equity out every 2 or 3 years? And Lizzie, now with the way the market is, you could pull out equity every 2 years because the market is inflating so much, right? And so very, very quickly. So it's a really good time for people to refinance their properties. Don't sell it, because when you sell it, you only have money that one time. If you refinance, your house becomes a bank book where you can keep taking every 2 years money out of your house, and it builds your wealth.
And that's really what I wanted to ask you, Maria, because a lot of people are probably wondering, the market is probably not good. We're going through COVID, we're going through the pandemic. This is not the best time of investing in real estate. This is probably not the best. Again, we probably hear all the naysayers and all the people that, it's never
Mhm.
a good time. However, can you talk about that? How has affected your business, your real estate investing doing last year's the biggest issue with the whole world, not just Canada, obviously, with
Yeah,
COVID?
yeah. Well, it's that's a really good question, Lizzie, because it has affected a lot of landlords that have tenants living in their homes without paying rent for up to a year at a time. So no one can afford that. I mean, we have to still pay our mortgages. So that's been one bad thing. There are landlords that are just losing thousands of dollars, and there's probably millions and billions of dollars being lost by landlords because they can't evict the tenant and they can't do anything with the property. You can't even sell because the tenant doesn't even have to move out when they sell the property. So it's very, very hard. So really, if you're ever going to go into real estate, the first thing you have to know is how to choose the right tenant to move in that will be able to pay you no matter what happens. And in my case, I've got great tenants. I don't even call them tenants, I call them guests. And they have been paying steady. They have never stopped paying. So finding the right people to put into your home is really critical, really critical. And I've started a new course. It's called How to Find Your Next 5-Star Tenant. And it's for anyone who's thinking of going into real estate and wants to learn, how do I get the best person to rent from me? How do I avoid professional tenants that will stay in there without paying? There is a way of avoiding it by you choosing. I mean, you have to learn. That's another skill you learn. And Lizzie, there are so many skills that you have to learn in real estate. It doesn't stop by buying a house. That's the easiest part. Buying and selling is the easiest. The management part of your real estate portfolio, that means people, the buildings, the contractors, that's where the money is made or lost. So getting back to your question, some people are doing really well with the real estate because they're purchasing real estate, they're selling, and people are paying like $100,000 over asking, which is crazy as far as I'm concerned, right? So there is something going on now. There is an inflation going on that we're going to have you have a boom and you have a bust. Well, it's impossible for it to continue the way it's going. We're going to have a bust. So if you overpay for a piece of property, there's when the bust comes, because it will, you're gonna have to hold on to that property maybe for 10 years before you can catch up to what's going on. So there is an overinflation going on. I don't go into multiple bids. I do not do that because that's not the good way of investing. My investments are long term. I don't treat it like the stock market. This is a long-term thing. So I buy and I hold, and it's good properties. I'm not trying to flip them over to somebody else so I get another person in so I can make more money. I don't do that. But instead I refinance. So it's been good for refinance. So when I looked at what was going on, I thought, okay, I'm going to refinance because I can pull money out. It can carry me through the COVID for a couple years. I can go financially because my houses are holding me over. So that's how it works for you, Lizzie.
Well, you touched something that it got me really, really curious right now, Maria, because if the market is overpriced right now and the homes are still at a crazy value and people are losing jobs, how is the mortgage? To me, as a simple mind person, hopefully you guys that are watching this can think the same way, or maybe they have the same question. So why would the banks, why would the homes be higher value if people are not able to carry mortgages? Where is the common sense there comes from? And that's very confusing for me.
I'm sorry, I couldn't make out what you were saying. There was a lot of static happening here. So just ask me again, please. I'm sorry, I missed it. Just shortened version.
Sure. So my question was, if the homes are at higher value over price market, how
Yes.
are people able to afford a home right now?
Okay, so what's going on here? We're getting a lot of people, like the baby boomers that have sold their home. They sell their home in Toronto, that's maybe worth $2 million. Then they come down to the smaller towns all over Ontario, all over Canada, that you can buy a house for $500,000 to $1 million. So if they sold their house for $2 million, they can come down, buy a house for, let's say, 500,000 to $1 million, and put another million in the bank. So that's what's happening. Are people coming here, or are coming in to buy these properties that they can buy for half price than they would in Toronto or the bigger centers? So that's what's happening with that.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. For people that are watching you right now, Maria, and they want to get a hold of you, I know you're very, very active on social media.
Yes, yes.
So where can people find you? I have right now that's your page on social media. This is you on
Mhm.
Facebook, and
Facebook. Yeah.
can you tell us how people can get a hold of you?
Sure, sure. You can find me on all social media sites. Just look for my name, Maria Rekrut, Rekrut. Send me a private message. If you want to send me an email, it's Real Wealth. That's RealWealth at live.ca. And if you want to find me on YouTube, it's Real Estate Media News Network. I have 179 videos uploaded there. So anyone who wants to learn about real estate, Lizzie, can go there. So it's Real Estate Media News Network. My website is realestate.com. If you want to fill out a form, I can do half an hour free consultation. Just tell me you want to get a free consultation. You saw me on LizyT Show. A plug for Lizzie, because I know Lizzie reaches a lot of people. Happy to help out anyone who's thinking of going into real estate, because that is the way for your freedom, your financial freedom. Yes.
Beautiful. So I have everyone at her page right now, right on the screen. This is her social media page. You could see there's quite a bit of websites right here: Niagara Furnished Rental, Niagara on the Lake Cottage, NiagaraCollege.com. What is the reason that you decided to because you are originally from Manitoba,
Mhm.
you lived here in Toronto. So why the Niagara region? Why did it attracted you to stay there and to continue invest there?
There. Well, first of all, because I had lived in large cities. I lived in Toronto, I lived in Rome, I lived in Madrid, and I lived in New York City. And I was tired. I wanted to live in a small center. And Niagara Lake is so very beautiful. It has the historical part that you find in Europe, and yet it has all the culture, which, I have my cultural background, right? And so that's what made me decide to come here to Niagara Lake, was that. And my parents had actually moved from Winnipeg to Niagara Lake for retirement. And so I followed them because I wanted to be close to my parents. I'd been away from my parents for over 14 years, and it's time for me to return to my nest, which was in Canada, the country that I love the most. And Niagara Lake is one of the most beautiful areas in Canada, actually. So that's
I
why.
I so agree. I so agree. I love it. One of the places that I love about Canada definitely is Niagara on the Lake. So, is there a specific place, Maria, that you would recommend for someone to invest? A lot of people said, Toronto is impossible right now. Go to Hamilton, go to Niagara on the Lake, go to Ottawa. That's what I'm actually
Mhm.
personally is still looking into invest in. Kitchener-Waterloo, that's where I have my rental property.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so any specific place that you recommend, or it really comes down to how much down payment do you have to put in? I mean,
You know what? Do your research. Do your research. I can't say where to go because I don't know. First of all, I don't even know if you have any, you want to buy for what reason. What is the reason you want to buy your real estate? That's the first thing is, why do you want to buy it? What do you want to do with it? How much return on investment do you want? And then start your research, and then try and find people who live in that area and ask them those questions. There are so many Facebook pages, Lizzie, that anyone can go on. I have my own. It's the Canadian Real Estate Investors Association. It costs nothing. I have over 6,000 people there. I have the Ontario Landlords Association. I have the Canadian Landlords Association. I also have the Canadian Short-Term Rental Host Association. So you can join those groups on Facebook and just read and ask questions and learn. Don't jump into real estate. It's a very costly mistake to make if you go and invest in an area that you don't know anything about because you think you need to buy. You're going to end up buying in the wrong area. You're going to end up overpaying for things, and you won't have good tenants because you've got to have all those things put together, and that takes time to get to know. So the first thing is relax, find a coach, start reading books, go to seminars, go on Facebook, on social media, YouTube, listen to podcasts, and then see how it is a very serious business where you can lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you don't want to do that. You want to slowly build your wealth.
I love the fact that you basically said if you want to get into real estate, you need to know why. Is it
Yes.
for a purpose later on in life? If it's to create wealth, if it's to live from the rental of your properties from a renter. I mean, there is so many whys, and a lot of people just think, buying a property, you will be able to be rich, and you don't know if that, and that's why it takes some of us, including myself, a little longer to be able to learn the ropes and where and how, because you don't know the purpose of you acquiring that property until you actually acquire the property, or you're 100% committed to that property and that place and the reason why. And that's really it's a process, just like anything else. People go through the fads, or it's fashionable to buy real estate, or is a trend. Well, if you go through the trend, just like Maria said, it could be very, very costly, and it's a mistake that maybe you should get into stocks instead, or you should get into buying antique cars. So it's not the trend for you if you are going to be losing out hundred thousands of dollars, especially now here in Toronto, that any home, any condo, you're looking at $500,000 to $1.5 million, which is, to me, coming to Toronto from Saskatchewan, it's out of this world. I can't believe that is happening. So what would you say? You kind of touched a little bit of, Maria, of the mistakes. Obviously, you talked about that, but definitely once you have made your mind, once you've realized definitely investing in real estate is what I want to do, what would you say one of the biggest rewards for you?
Okay, I missed the question. I'm sorry, Lizzie, I missed the question. What were the 3 words of what?
What would you say is the biggest rewards of you doing what you're doing?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I love education. Okay, I'm an educational aholic. Like, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm already watching YouTube videos to learn something, or I'm laying down in bed. I don't watch silly movies. I'm learning something about real estate or about technology or whatever else, right? Okay, the biggest return is to become financially independent. But I'm glad you brought that up, Lizzie, because 1 or 2 houses is not going to do it. Okay, it takes many years and many strategies before you can start to live off of your real estate. And I was only able to live off of my real estate in 2008. So I've been living off of my real estate completely since 2008, which means that was a big commitment on my side. It still is a big commitment on my side because I keep changing strategies to be able to continue, and also to continue purchasing, right? So the thing is financial independence. The other thing is to reach your goals and find out what your why is. Because if we reach our goals or know what our why is, Lizzie, that builds your self-esteem, right? Why am I doing this? I don't want to prove to anybody else. Like I've always proven to myself. I mean, I always stretched myself out since I was a little girl. I've always reached, like they say, reach for the sky and you may hit some stars on the way. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, whatever that saying is. But okay, so, and the third thing is that I know I can take care of myself. I don't have to rely on any government funding. Even with COVID, I was still able to take care of myself financially. And that's the stability of real estate. That's what real estate brings you, the stability. But real estate also takes from you a lot. You have to learn and you have to dedicate yourself to it. So when people think that you can go into real estate and you don't do anything, oh, that's a joke. That is a real joke, like to put 100 hours a week is normal. I mean, there's nothing, and that's not even doing the work anymore because I'm learning more. I'm learning more skills all the time. So I'm always learning. So those are the three things that you would get out of it. And then Lizzie, also depends what you want to get out of it. What is it you want to get out of it, right? I know what I want to get out of it, the financial freedom and being able to say, hey, this money's coming from everything that I've put into it. It's giving me back, right? But I've put a lot into it.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for that answer. And a lot of like if for myself, when I got interested and when I got involved in it, I wanted just to get a property so I can use to fund my girls to college because I know by me saving and putting into RESP, that wasn't going to make it. So that's how I got it. And then again, I got bit by the bug and I thought it was a lot more. However, to do where you are right now, that's something completely different, that a lot more advanced. Definitely, this is full time for you, and definitely this is it. So when it comes down to renovations and fixing, and taking the floor down and redoing the kitchen. I watch a lot of those TV shows, which they make it look so fun and entertaining, and choosing the tiles. How is that experience for you?
I don't do that. I buy good properties in good areas that the moment I close, which means I take possession, people move in and they pay me first and last month's rent, I'm all ready to pay the mortgage. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean I haven't had workers come in, handy people come in and put in a new roof or change over a bathroom, like put tiles on the floor, put tiles on the wall. I've had crews come in that when someone's moved out, they've come in and we've laid down new flooring. We pulled out carpet and laid down new flooring. We painted, but I don't change things out unless I absolutely have to, because it's first of all costly, and the other thing too is how much more money are you going to get from rent if you do that? Sometimes cleaning it up, painting instead of changing over a kitchen, which is very costly, and people don't even appreciate it. Just paint it out in white, right? So it depends how much you want to get from the people renting. You've got to look at that. You don't put granite and quartz in a house that you're going to have 4 or 5 children there, or it's for families. It's going to ruin your house. So you've got to think strategy all the time and to always try and spend less than what you'd like to spend, because you've got to look, what is my return on investment? And for me, I look at 10%. I look at the end of the year, that house has to bring me 10% return on investment. Yeah, has to do that.
Love it. Yeah. So we've touched a lot in different things. So we've talked mortgages. We talked about return on investment. We ROA, which a lot of you probably are not too familiar. Again, this is all learning, and I know this is the very first time you probably are seeing on the LizyT Show something like this, which is good. We people have to learn different things all the time, and it's important for you to be able to understand those concepts, because you have to think sometimes that one of the things I've learned is, let's say you have that home and you have that investment and you have enough And meanwhile, you probably are paying credit cards in a very, very, very high interest rate. How about not investing in real estate, but using that equity to pay off that huge debt with high interest? So we're talking 29%. Wouldn't you just think very, very basic here? Wouldn't it be a lot easier or a lot cheaper or save you hundreds of thousands of dollars to take that money that you already have accumulated? I'm not saying take it all, take some of it and pay off that debt instead of paying high. So just I know it's a new concept and it's very new for you, but just a food for thought. And again, maybe you do get bit by the real estate bug and you're able also to invest, like myself, wanted to buy a property so I can use it for my kids' education. I'm not thinking bigger than that, and maybe you can do too. Please connect with Maria. Her website is right here on our social, all over. We're here in Periscope, Instagram, Facebook Live, also on LinkedIn. So be able to connect with us that way and ask her a question. I guarantee you that she will be able to give you, like she said, 30 minutes for you to ask all your questions. If you mention you saw her on LizyT Show, she will be more than willing to assist you. So any other tip right now, I wanted to ask you, you're going to be speaking on the Global Pandemic Summit as myself. Wow. Can you tell us, what are you going to be talking about and how excited that you, and again, this is the second time that you've been invited to speak there.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I have muted you, so you can drink your water. I'm drinking my water as well, so make sure that you're muted right now. Maria, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to continue.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Okay.
I didn't hear your whole question there. I was coughing.
So you're going to be speaking on Saturday at the Global Pandemic Summit. What are you going to talk about, and how excited are you to be able to be part of this amazing day?
I'm very excited. I'm happy to be back. I was on the first one in October, and I'm happy to be back. I'll be talking about real estate too, how to get into real estate, how to become financially free. And I hope I can help someone, excuse me, on their journey, because Lizzy, everybody wants to be financially free. And real estate is one of the best ways of doing it. And I'm here to help if I can. I've done it myself as a single woman with my own money. And I didn't have very much money either. I just learned to save my money. I was working for minimum wage and I'm still able to save my money. And I had a need. I always have a reason to do something. So I feel that anyone that has a reason to go ahead and really is truly committed to themselves and has the why, they'll be able to get there. But we need the help of other people to get us who've gone through it before you. And I have mastermind that meets every Thursday, Lizzy. And these people meet every Thursday. I have coaches on along with myself. This is a private group. And they've grown so much themselves in understanding about money. Think about money. Think about your house as a bank. And then what kind of real estate should you be getting into? How do you choose the right tenant? What about refinancing? How can you buy? I just did a show actually on Monday on this gentleman, Rob LaMontagne, bought 50 or 62 houses with none of his money. Wow. 62 of them. He's still doing it. Still doing it. So, I mean, it can be done, but you have to find the right people that are going to show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's not going to take you work. Of course, it's going to take you work. You have to find other people that will give you the money, that will lend you the money. So the first thing people have to do, Lizzy, is work on their credit bureau. Get a good credit bureau. Pay off your debts, pay your credit cards on a steady basis. Like, you've got to build your credit bureau, because that's the first thing they ask you if you're going to go for a mortgage is, I need to see how you pay your debts back. That's the number one priority.
Yes,
Number one.
and that's really why I talked about you muted if you need to drink some water, Maria. So you're on mute right now. So please, if you need to cough, if you feel comfortable, I understand. And when I talk too much, I need my water as well. But that's why one of the reasons that I talked about, if you have equity, how about paying that debt? Because really, when it comes to investing in real estate, even if you need to buy your own property, you rent it for 5 years, you have enough savings, you want to be able to get into your very first mortgage, your home. How about getting out of rent and start investing and living in the home that you've purchased? The first thing that the bank is asking, or a lender, how is your credit score? And if you're having issues, obviously, if you're having some difficulty, obviously they're not going to lend you because they're afraid that you are not going to pay the mortgage, meaning the monthly payments, right? You're going to switch it from rent, you're going to switch it to paying rent to back to the bank, but the house is going to be yours. So all those things you got to take into consideration, and you probably haven't thought about. But again, Maria has a group that meets on Thursday. Learn the basic. This is all brand new. We should have a sequel now that we got all the terminology out of the way, and you're hopefully you're feeling a little bit more comfortable about RA and equity and mortgage and all that. So maybe we should have a sequel, Maria, for people to get questions and for people to get more information. And again, Maria will be here to coach you, to help you, to go one-on-one. You can join her group on Thursday to get more information. And the growth is phenomenal. You don't know where this is going to lead. It could lead you to get your very own home, or it could lead you to get your, 20 homes. You don't know. You don't know. Maria, it's been an incredible. I can't believe we've been here for about an hour. Crazy. You are amazing. I salute you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to get to know you and get to know the amount of information that you know. And for a single woman, everyone, someone who doesn't have a second income, like a husband to come in and help her, she's achieved this all on her own. So she is just as special as you are. So she was able to achieve that. What makes you think that you can't? Think about that. Think about that. Maria, any last words before we quit here?
But the last thought I would say is you can do it if you want to. I'm willing to help you with any type of ideas, even resources where you can get some more resources, because we all need coaches. I need it when I started, and I still have the same coach I can call up anytime. This is 21 years later, Lizzie, and then I have different coaches for different parts of my business. Then you have your dream team. You have your lawyer, your mortgage broker, your accountant. Like, this is your dream team that you formulate. So I don't go out and paint things. I don't do any of that. If I need to have a contractor come in, I have my contractor, they do the work, or I call them in. So really, you can run your business by yourself when you have everything in place, right? You have everyone that you need as part of your dream team to make this work, and you're at the center of the dream team, and you take all the responsibilities, and you have to pay all the bills. It's all your own money. So, you're going to take it very seriously, because it's a serious business, quite simply.
Absolutely. Yeah. And hopefully we're not scaring you about lawyers and real estate. This is going to be a step 2. What kind of lawyers you should choose, and what kind of real estate agent you should work with, or all that good stuff. But part 2 is coming up, everyone. Do not worry. Do not get concerned. It's very easy once you know where to go and who to talk to, especially if you have a Maria Rekrut on your side. Guys, it's been an honor again. Maria, what a pleasure. You are amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, and I'm so proud of you. Continue the good work and keep teaching us, because we need you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I opened up the mind of one person, Lizzie.
Me too.
Take care. Bye, everyone. All the best, eh? Take care.
Wow. So I know it was a little bit too much for you today, and it's okay. But we will have part two. We will outline things that we've talked to and things that we will continue talking on the same platform, because a lot of you, this is the very first time you've heard about investment in real estate, and that's okay. So we'll talk about lawyers and real estate and all that good stuff later on in contract. But hopefully you were able to get just a tiny bit, a tip of the iceberg for you to be able to grow your independence. Sometimes you think that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. None of us are. We just go and learn. I have lots to learn, and you probably have to. It's been a pleasure having Maria here today. I so admire her. Look after her with her knowledge and information. Follow her. She's on all social media platforms. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate either contacting me through my social. I'm all over social media, and I will forward the question to Maria. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.